Okay. So the objective of this webinar was to help you understand the context as to why we are doing this, what is the importance of doing this, what are actually the benefits and value adds that you will get when you move, or rather when you adopt to this new interface. That would be the major agenda for this webinar. And I will take all the questions once I go through my agenda, probably in the next, say, 15-20 minutes, so that you get a understanding about it. After that, I'll just take a pause, ask any questions, and then continue later. All right, so let me share my screen and just let me know if you're able to see my screen. I hope you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, Pranay, we can.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks, Ravi. So the agenda for this webinar is, we will talk through what is one CXI. I think you might have seen our LinkedIn post. We did some recent marketing events about what is one CXI, and then we will we will talk about the transition to the newer interface. We will talk about the features that have been built into it, what is the additional business impact that you can create using it, just a very quick overall walkthrough of the product using it, what is the action plan, or rather what should be the action items from your side, some frequently asked questions that we've identified from our previous sessions and emails that we keep getting from customers, and yeah, open it up for Q&A. Okay. Now, one CXI. So Ozontel previously was pretty much known. What we understood from our survey was that Ozontel was pretty much known as a um, voice call center platform, CCAS product. That was what we were known for, and we actually had a lot more additional capabilities right from a long time. But recently, we've pivoted ourselves to move towards CX solutions. So any sort of solutions that are tailored around customer experience that can help businesses improve their customer experience, we would like to build all sorts of offerings around that space, and that is why we pivoted towards a CX company. And as part of that strategic move, we have our one CXI platform, which kind of gives you all the products and solutions that are necessary, or rather that will help you impact your customer experience. That includes our existing dialer platform as well. Okay. Currently, we and this is just a glimpse of the scale at which we are running. We are one of the top players in the country at this moment. We have about 20 million interactions every day. That is what we manage. And just for you to understand the scale and the magnitude of backend infrastructure that we maintain. And we have launched a lot of new AI related products. We have launched a lot of features into the existing dialer products, and all put together, we are offering as a one CXI platform. That is what the platform is all about. Okay, we moved to AWS cloud long ago, but just that I'm just putting that as one of the important points. We did have a recent event in Bombay, where we launched our brand video about what is one CXI all about. I'm sure if you follow our LinkedIn pages, you'll get to know a lot about it. The idea is to bring all the customer touch points, irrespective of any channels, onto one platform, and give you that single view of what are your customer journeys, and give reporting around it, and be able to analyze data around it, whether it is a normal reporting or whether it is some sort of an AI analysis, all put together. We bring everything into one platform, and that is what we are calling as one CXI. Okay. Now, under one CXI platform, we have a whole lot of offerings like voice bots, chat bots. We have the new voice of customer solution. We have automatic QA automation, which is quality audit automation process. Then we have CXI switch that we recently launched, which is due to the recent TRI regulations, there's been a lot of misunderstanding. There has been a lot of anxiousness around the telecom related things. To solve that problem, this was in pipeline for such a long time. so to solve that problem, this situation just ignited us, and we launched something called as a CXI switch, which runs the call over internet. And so you shouldn't have a problem. We will have an SDK that will, that you as a business in your mobile app or where, even on the web, that you can integrate, and your customers can directly reach out to you using that CXI switch. We launched that as well. So there are a lot of offerings that we have under the umbrella, which is the one CXI platform. And the the reason why we wanted you to move to the newer interface is not just one CXI, but also the fact that the older interface, we did face a lot of uh, legacy technology, security concerns, and the tech stack was pretty old. So all of that we wanted to upgrade, because now we wanted to target the enterprise market. We wanted to give a lot more offerings, and we wanted to bring a lot more scale to the business. And that is why we launched this one CXI. It in this particular interface will have a lot more flexibility. You, on your dashboards, the look and feel is slim, modern, right? We went through a proper design, UI UX design process. We talked with a lot of our customers before we went ahead and approved the designs. Then the technology is updated now. It is on AWS cloud. A lot of the infrastructure is on AWS cloud here. The tech stack, again, we are using the latest technologies in order to build our front end and back end designs. We have incorporated some of the AI related features that has been under R&D for quite some time. We incorporated that into this one CXI. And the most important point is we actually stopped rolling out any sort of updates into the existing interface that you are using um, from November of 2023. So we have been silently adding a lot of features before the launch of this newer interface. We did a beta launch last year where we had a product webinar. Our chief product officer, previously Prashant, spoke a lot about that in the webinar, and that's available in our docs.ocental.com. We gave it as a beta to our customers. We've been accepting feedback from the customers, and we've been working to improve on that, right? And so you have a lot of additional features that have been added all through 2024, and even in 2025 we will continue to do that. So in terms of feature rollout, the existing interface, we have put a full stop to it. We will no longer take any sort of issues, fix any sort of bugs, or make any upgrades to that particular interface. We want all of our customers to move to this newer interface, which will exactly have the same designs. We'll have a unified design across all the product offerings, and hence we want you to transition to this newer interface. I want to categorically mention the fact that I know some of the customers might feel that last year we did a migration from one of the very first interfaces that we launched as a product company to the current one that you're using, right? That was a proper migration, because we migrated the entire data, we migrated the backend infrastructure and everything onto the current one that you're using. But the new one CXI that we have, you will not face any such challenges. You should not face any hurdles, because it is just a switch of the UI and UX. The entire functionalities will remain same. Actually, there are more additional features in the new one CXI platform when compared to the existing one. So you should not have any problem, right? And the integrations are seamless, and this is the exact UI UX we will follow for all our upcoming product launches, all our offerings and solutions that we are going to deliver in the upcoming years. So it is quite important to understand that this is not a migration. This is just a transition to a new user experience. That's the only point. The backend infrastructure and features, everything remains the same. Now, what are all the features that I've been talking about, right? When we look at it in the newer, when compared to the existing interface, one CXI, which is our new interface, we worked around themes, some of the themes in last year, and one of the big themes was compliance and risk management. That was one of our important themes, because we focused a lot on security. We wanted to focus on getting a lot more enterprise customers on board, and hence we incorporated features like outbound call restrictions per day. we have the full call recording options. So the outbound call restriction per day was, a lot of customers wanted to be compliant, especially in the insurance space, where they didn't want to bug the customer. They might lose the customer by calling them too many times. They could face huge penalties if there's some sort of a issue or complaint being raised to the government. And hence we build this outbound call restriction per day, where you will not, based on the configuration, the dialer will not dial more than the configured number of calls to a specific customer in a given day. It could be across all your accounts, or you could do this at a campaign level as well. That is doable as well. So you could put that you should not call a customer more than 2 times from this particular campaign in a given day. So you could do that as well. Full call recording options, again, a lot of our customers wanted to understand the behavior of their agents, and how the actual, what is the actual picture even before the agent picks up the call, right? And that is where we build this full call. So right from the first ring, you will, till the last disconnect, we will have the entire conversation, the entire ring sound, the connectivity sound, everything recorded as part of this full call recording feature, right? Again, disclaimer message, very very important from a compliance standpoint. You will now be able to play the disclaimer message for all campaign types. Previously, this was not available for all of them, right? DNC regulation, this was one of the features that we had in the international markets. We brought it back, we brought it to Indian market. If you have an automatic compliance, so that you don't call people outside of the regulated hours, right? This is the set of features. We are just covering the top ones. I'm sure there are so many others that we've included in the product. The second theme, broader theme that we were talking about, was productivity enhancement in terms for in terms of output from the system, which is dynamic DID. We wanted to increase the answer rates. That was one of the thing. So we launched this dynamic DIDs. So you can now put a series of numbers under one campaign, and our system will dial in a round robin manner to ensure that the answer rates are not impacted, right? Redialing a call, again, lot of customers face these problem that you call the end user who's picking the call, the end customer. He might be in a remote areas. Based on the business model, if they're targeting tier 2 and tier 3 cities, you will not have connectivity, or you will face, I wouldn't say not, but I would say you will face some sort of connectivity issues. And once the customer is lost, the agent might not have a way to dial him back from the system automatically without putting additional efforts. So we then brought this redial functionality onto our toolbar. So once the call gets disconnected for any sort of a purposes, or even for that matter, if the agent wants to redial back to the customer, you now have the redial option that can be configurable in the disposition window itself. So once the agent disposes the call and flags this to redial, automatically our system will disposes the earlier call and then connects back to the same customer as a redial. Then again, continuous bargain from, I know we put it in productivity enhancement, but this is part of compliance as well. A lot of the supervisors wanted to understand how their agents are behaving in a series of calls, because if just monitoring one or two calls, the supervisors might not get a clear picture of how the agent is, what the agent is doing good, where the agent is not doing good. And hence I think this continuous bargain plays a very very significant role for them to understand how the agent is behaving, what is the patterns of his mistakes or good things that he's doing over the conversation, over a series of calls. So the supervisor can stay barged in for a series of, let's say, 5, 10, 15, 20 calls, and they can continuously monitoring. This is live continuous bargain. So you pick up an agent, let's say you pick up agent Ram, and you will be able to monitor that particular agent continuously through his series of calls, no matter like how many calls. It's up to you. You can listen to him all along, all day as well. So these are the first two set of themes. And then we did work a lot on operational efficiency as well, which is a lot of time was spent around managing the SIP numbers. literally we went ahead and saw, we went ahead uh, for into our customer premises. We saw that people were literally putting sticky notes on their desks to manage the SIP numbers, because you have shifts. So people were a sticky note was put on the desktop monitor, and whoever comes and sits in that seat used to use that SIP number to log in. I mean, those were the days where the SIP management was very, very difficult, and we just wanted to get that operational hassle out of the way. We just we will have a range of SIP numbers assigned, and once the agent logs in, automatically it picks the SIP numbers from the pool and logs the agent in. So there is no more hassle of telling which SIP number to use for the agent, right? IVR checkpoint data, again, this is one of has been one of the important asks from a lot of the customers. They want to understand the journey of the customer before it reached to the agent, because the agent then has a lot of context when he's having that conversation. Probably he can get a heads up and can solve his problem, or answer his need quickly when compared to just asking the entire context right from the start. So you now have that facility to get the entire IVR data, how the customer has went through the IVR on the toolbar, so that the agent can see. Yet another thing, it's quite important to ensure that we have a control on the agents, because especially after COVID, we have a lot of businesses doing going work from home remote, and the agents are sitting remote. In fact, some of the biggest fintech in some of the biggest regulatory customers, insurance customers, are also having a lot of agents sitting remote and working, e-commerce, reality space, all of these domains. And they wanted that complete control on what the agent is doing, and hence we now have this option to control any of the to configure the call controller options on the toolbar, so that you don't give an end button, or you don't give that hold button, or you don't give for that matter, say, transfer button if it is unnecessary. You now have the control to give these to configure these options to each of the agent individually. And you can, again, we have a bulk update option as well in the admin interface to reduce the overload. You can change these configurations across bulk agents in one go, and you could do that as well with our bulk update, right? Again, holiday management and work days, these have been a pending ask from quite some time. Our campaigns usually used to have, in fact, if you're using the existing interface, our campaigns only have a run time, which means you put a 9 to 6, it runs 9 to 6 every single day. If you don't want it to run on a Sunday, you have to literally go and stop it manually. So what we went ahead and did is, we gave you that option of work days. Now you can stop, you can configure the days, the multiple time slots inside each day, on when the system, or rather the dialer, should dial the calls. So outside of these work days, outside of the time zones, time slots configured inside each work day, the dialer will never call anybody outside of those hours. So that makes it a lot more easier for your the admin teams who are running the operations on ground from a business operations perspective, right? Again, as I talked about security and integration, number masking, we now have the option to configure the different type of number formats that you would like to do. Like if you look at Aadhaar, you just see the last four digits. You can do that. You can mask the first two digits and show the 8 digits. So whatever format of masking that you would like to see on the front end, and on the download, you'll be able to see the customer's phone number masked across on the agent interface, and also on the admin interface, so that you abide by the compliance rules and regulations. SSO single sign-on configuration, you should be able to do a single sign-on integration here. Again, that is to reduce your login friction. You might use Microsoft across all of your products in your organization. You would like to utilize the same thing even for our software, and we could do that as well. So these are the features that we've been working on. In fact, these are rolled out in 2024. Now it is not just that, a lot of feedback we got after our beta we launched last year, that we went ahead and made the dashboards a little more flexible into a widget model, which I'll show you in a bit. And we did receive some feedback that, the font is small, things are moving, we want a little more space, we want to see more number of agents. And this slide talks about all those updates that we addressed recently in the releases that we did, right? uh, I would like to take this opportunity to talk about one more thing, which we just very recently launched, in fact in the month of January, where you now, in our new interface, which we are referring to as one CXI platform, you should be able to handle, in fact an agent, if needed as per the business process, should be able to handle both voice and any of the digital channels on the toolbar simultaneously. Okay, and we've seen a lot of use cases around this. Like a classic use case is one of a fintech customer who was offering loans. They had a relationship manager, and they wanted the customer to speak to the same relationship manager every single time. So you can handle incoming leads, you can handle incoming chats, both of them simultaneously, if you believe your agents are good at, or you rather want to experiment and try with this. So this is now possible. This has been rolled out. Just reach out to your account managers, and they should definitely be able to help you. In fact, any of the teams, they should be able to help you to enable this feature, right? So yeah, this is one thing. Before I move into the action plan, I just want to take a pause here and see if I have some questions in the chat for me. Okay, so let me answer that. Chat on call feature, we are waiting for ACO to get enabled. So Swati, so there is this confusion when you say chat on call. And I tell you, this confusion is because of the terminology we are using. What I just spoke about is multiple channels simultaneously with different customers. If you would like to speak to the same customer whom you're on a call with on chat as well, that is also available. We could get that enabled. Just speak to the account manager. They will involve any of our BSG or the corresponding teams, and we should be able to do that. I don't think that should be a big problem. Okay. Nitish, you put this message here on behalf of any of the customers. Will there be any extension given for the transition, or March end is final? That's a good question. I know that March 31st is financial year end for a lot of businesses. They would like to realign their budgets and operations and things like that. As of now, we are on track. We want the customers to make a move, and the reason is that I will explain that in the coming slides. But the biggest point that we want you to try and experiment, not experiment, we want you to start using it right now, is one. Obviously we can understand that you will need a week or 10 days to get used to the interface, and you might have some questions, and hence we want you to do it ahead of time. Not just that, you've lost an entire year of 2024 where we launched a lot of upgrades, a lot of features, which potentially you could utilize at no cost, because there is no additional cost for upgrading these features to the platform. And using these features, you could have optimized a lot of your operations, you could have reduced costs on your end, or for that matter improved the customer experience in any which manner applicable based on your process, which you could not do if you haven't moved. That is another point. I think that is the biggest factor why we want you to do it. Now, the actual decision as to whether we gonna we are gonna say March 31st as the final, or an extension, something that we are still working out internally. We are evaluating internally as people are pouring in their feedback, their whatever problem statements if they have. We're trying to solve them. The idea is to push as many customers as much possible. We would like to ensure that starting the next financial year, you will start experiencing the changes in one CXI, where you have a lot more offerings and upgrades. So yes, stay tuned to the updates. I just don't want to commit anything and say that we are still evaluating that thing, but that shouldn't stop you or hold you from continuing your process or initiating a process if you still haven't to move to the new interface. Next question from Swati. We are now providing the option to add multiple agents with different priority levels. However, the current export consolidates the skill list without reflecting priority levels. We need to ensure that the export includes agent priorities as well. Swati, okay, feedback taken. Just raise a ticket internally, and we will evaluate that internally and get that done. That is fine. We're okay. We just no promise immediately on the timelines because we have our current priorities, but definitely we take those points. Okay, so let me move ahead. Now, what is the action plan? I think one of the important points from a decommissioning standpoint, right? The existing UI, as I told, the current plan as of today, we are on track. We would like to decommission by March 31st. No new updates on the old UI since November 2023, which I covered. And as much as possible, the reason we would like to decommission is that handling multiple instances is getting very difficult for us, and even for you as a customer, we don't want you to go through that hassle. So we don't once everybody's moved to the newer interface, there'll be no bug fixes, there'll be no upgrades or support on the existing interface as well, and we will definitely have to put a halt, and we will put a halt on that. So again, that we don't want you to go through that process right towards the end. Now, in terms of adoption to the newer interface, very well understand that any change, it is going to take a little while. So we have our docs.ozontel.com. I will just share that across. Let me check. The platform in which we host the documentation, this had a problem this morning. Yeah, okay, it's opening. So I think we could. Just let me know once you start seeing the screen. Saransh, are you able to see the?
No, Pranay, not yet.
What was it? How about now?
Yeah, we can see it now.
Oh, okay. So this is our documentation portal. This is where, and I think we've time and again we've told this, we've sent this in our marketing communications, and I'm sure you've heard it from either of our team members during any of the conversations. If not, again, this is docs.ozontel.com, publicly available, where you have the entire guides for all of our product offerings that we are offering here. It's a very comprehensive documentation. You can go through that, and this documentation only has relevant information about the newer interface. We did not document anything about the existing interface here. Along with that, we've got a video library for you so that you can go through quick how to videos, a series of FAQ videos for you to understand, get a hang of better options on the UI. I think that's the fundamental thing. Otherwise, the functionalities still remains the same. We have a lot of information on integration with any of the CRMs. So we did give a very detailed documentation on these as well, right? You have you have our admin guides talk about reports. You have all the previous webinars that we did. Everything is available. This was the webinar new UI adoption. So this was the recent December webinar we updated on the docs.ozontel portal. So you have a lot of information on the docs.ozontel portal. I know it is difficult to go through everything at once. That's why we've arranged live training sessions. We have a weekly training sessions with our transition team, and this solely we cover everything about how the new UI looks, where to access where each of these functionalities, all of those aspects. Now, when it comes to any sort of a problems or any sort of questions that you have around the transition to the newer interface, we have our product evangelist Saransh, whom you can reach out to. You can send an email, and Saransh will point you to the right team, take you to the right team who should definitely help you in solving those problems or answering those questions by himself, if that's if they're small, right? So any questions on this so far? Did I leave out answering any questions in the Q&A? No. Okay.
I believe we've covered all the questions posted in the chat.
Okay.
Guys, please feel free to
So I'll
post the questions.
yes, I will quickly just walk you through a very quick overview on the interface so that you now get to understand it. So this is our new interface for the 1CXI. You will have the dashboards. There are a lot of widgets out here. You can choose any widgets and build any of your dashboards. We've come out of that static dashboard model to now creating these widgets. So this becomes easy for you. You can configure your, it's just drag and drop, and you can configure these widgets onto the dashboard very easily. You can just drop them, give a name, and that's it. Save the dashboard. It's as easy to create any dashboard, and you can have any number of dashboard here that you can create using these widget combinations that we have given. That is one new aspect to it. Second, I don't know if you observed that when you log in, we had this previously. We used to have the agent dashboard, reports, and admin separately. Now you have everything combined. Just it is just agent and admin. That's it. No more change. This is the SIP feature that I was talking about. Your agents can now log in using SIP. If you see SIP, when you're in the SIP mode, you don't need to enter anything except for your account, agent ID, and password. When you go through the phone, you have a long form that you have to fill, which is your phone number in addition, right? That just give me 1 second. That is one area that we've improved on. Second, you have a very clear interface now. You have your campaigns, you have your reports on the left navigation here to access, and all of the administrative things are available here. So this was the bulk update that I was talking about. You now can update all the agent configurations or agent settings from here. Like here I'm configuring my skills, and I can merge with existing skills for the agents that I selected, or rather for agent groups, right? And I can also apply any of these settings. Like if I want to change the SIP locations for multiple agents at once, that's possible. If I have to change the setting of auto answer for all of these agents at once, I can do that. So that's the bulk update that we recently did. And in campaigns, so if I go to any of the outbound campaigns, that is when you have this concept of work days. So if I scroll down, you have this work hours schedule. You can configure any days of the week, any time, multiple time slots actually. So if I go ahead and edit this, you should be able to probably say add here any time slots, multiple time slots in a day. And you can, if I just remove, let's say Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'm going to give a different time zone for that time slot, sorry. So I will type in Friday, and I would say on Fridays I just want you to start from 4 probably, right? So 5 5 5. So yeah, 5 o'clock to say I only want to do until 10, right? So on Fridays, this is the time slot that I want. and I could do multiple time slots on Friday. So this is now available. You could do that. We just need to enable it through a setting. Again, I was talking about the full call recording. Under campaign, you have the option now, record the call in full, record only the conversations and do not record calls. You could utilize that if you would like to, if your business process falls under compliance and you would like to do that. Now again, if I just go to the admin settings here, give me 1 second. Sorry, no, I just refresh this. In the admin settings is where you can configure all of these things. We did have, I think I didn't talk about it, but we had this new user structure. So previously our sub user, which we used to call as sub admin, had a very limited structure or a very predefined structure for the user in the product. Now it's a lot more flexible. You could create a sub admin for different departments in different ways. So you first have to create a profile for the sub admin, which will define which list he will see, and which reports he or she should have access to. It's not necessary that your sub admins need all the reports. So you can remove the access for some of the reports which are not needed. All of that configuration is now available for the sub admin architecture. This is again the very recent update that we did. So you now can control to the level where you can actually do not give access to certain configuration lists for the sub admin, whether you would like to give a full access, whether you would like to give no access, or whether you want them to have basic edit access onto the list. So all of these things are possible. And this is, if you look at the settings, under the settings is where you have these outbound call restriction. So I just max outbound dialing count. Here, if I just change this from outbound dialing rule from campaign, from account, this was account. If it is an account, it applies across the entire account. Or if I do it at a campaign, then I have to configure the limit of the outbound calls restriction per day per customer for each of the campaigns. Right. So yeah, I just wanted to cover so that you get a hang of it. These are all the reports here. Now we have the live and historic reports. As part of the 1CXI platform, all the product offerings, or all the reports of other products that we have will eventually come and reside here. So this will be the one same structure that you will get when you access all of the products. In fact, all of the products will also be brought here. This will be the UI UX, or rather this will be the login that you will have to follow going forward. Yeah, with that, I just wanted you to get a feel of the how the new interface looks like. I'm open to any questions now.
Yeah, just wait. We'll just wait for a couple more minutes if there are any questions, and then we can end the session. Cool. I believe there are no more questions, Pranay. In case there are any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or to Pranay or to your account manager, and we'll be happy to assist you. And thank you for joining in. Thank you for tuning in. I believe we'll just wrap up this session right now. And thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Pranay. Thanks, Ravi. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.